All right, let's jump right in. I'm not Joe Flacco, coming to you from, well, my wife's basement with most depressing losses, ranking the most depressing losses of week 4 in the NFL. We're going to start with not that depressing a loss. The Bears. You know why? Caleb Williams. They're cucks for Caleb right now. There is no reason for them to win a game. We're going to talk about them in a little bit. The next group of teams, I've got the Commies, the Cardinals, and the Colts. All teams that hung tough for at least a little bit, but let's call these excusable losses. You got the Colts against a good Rams team. You've got the Cards against everybody's number one team on the power ranking list, at least for this week with the Cowboy game coming up, the 49ers. And then you've got the Commies against the NFC champion, Philadelphia Eagles. So all excusable losses. Now we get into the 10 tiers of depression right now. First one, Steelers. Lost 30-6 to the Houston Texans, a team. And the reason I've got the Steelers down here, 30-6 beat down by a rookie quarterback, a rookie head coach. The reason I got him here, I'm looking at the Texans' schedule. I think this loss is going to age well. I think the Texans are going to win probably 10 games, at least 9. And the Steelers, you know, I think this will be one of those games where they go, hey, listen, CJ Stroud's actually pretty fucking good. D'Amico Ryans actually knows what he's doing. And yes, was it a beatdown? Sure. Is it something that's going to haunt them the rest of the season? Probably not. I think the Steelers have their own issues, but I don't think losing to this Texans team is going to be that big a deal. The 9th tier, got the Jets. Close loss to the Chiefs, played them tough. Zach Wilson, be honest, folks. Be honest, Jets fans. You think he might actually be able to do this, don't you? You think he's got it in him. You think he's got a little bit of dog in him. We'll see. But I don't blame you for having hope. He looked phenomenal. Took ownership of the drop fumble, or the drop snap for the fumble. I'm feeling the hope for you. We'll see how it works out. But, like they said on Ted Lasso, it's the hope that gets you. It's the hope that kills you. So maybe the Jets are just being set up for that much bigger fall. Just when you thought you couldn't be any more disappointed after the Aaron Rodgers injury. Then Zach Wilson plays like shit. And then all of a sudden he outplays Patrick Mahomes. You still lose, but you've got that glimmer. They're setting you up for something. 8th tier, we've got the Browns. Massive beatdown, division rival, the city that stole your team. But listen, I think that the bye week is healing for physical wounds and for mental health. And I think that going into the bye week, sure, do you have to think about this loss for 2 weeks instead of just 1? Yes. But I think you can start, Deshaun Watson was out. You had a rookie quarterback, like a rookie 5th-round pick making his first start against a good division rival. I think you can, write this one off a little bit. I think you can let this kind of, you can roll with the punches on this one a little bit. But take the bye, heal up mentally, physically, and then because you've got the Niners coming to town in 2 weeks. Tier 7. All 3 of these teams, Saints, Packers, and Dolphins, all division losses to teams that I think that they think they're better than. I know the Saints thought they were better than the Bucs. Packers fans just always think they're better than the Lions. And the Dolphins coming off 70 points, you thought this was going to be the game that they turned around their bad luck in Buffalo. But no, they're now losers, I think, of 10 out of 11 instead of just 9 out of 10. You thought you were going to turn around. You thought this was the team. And Packers fans, can we call it Lamb Blue Stadium now? It's not Lambeau, it's Lamb Blue, because the Lions fans showed up. They were loud. And you had to listen to that on your home field in prime time for the whole country to hear Detroit show up in Green Bay and embarrass you a little bit. I'd be a little depressed. Not going to lie. Not as much as the Raiders, because they still have Josh McDaniels. They're the 6th tier. Poor bastards. I mean that like from a mental thing, not from a financial thing, but also it works. Bengals, season from hell. It's the season from hell. This is you got T. Higgins out with an elbow or a rib. You've got Joe Burrow nursing the calf thing. Nothing looks good. Nothing looks right. Jamar Chase is in the locker room saying, I'm always fucking open. This is how seasons from hell start. You pay the quarterback big money. He gets hurt. Wide receiver gets hurt. Wide receiver starts grumbling. You're in a tough division. I would start at least contemplating the idea of what to do with a top 10 pick. Just a thought. And listen, it's not that I think that the Bengals are that bad. It's that I think that circumstance, any more losses, and Burrow's going to be like, listen, this isn't fucking worth it. I'm going to shut this down before I do real fucking damage. Right? And then once Burrow shuts it down, then the season's over. So it's had a good run, folks. And listen, I'm not part of the Bill Belichick sucks crowd. I mean, the guy's been 25-25 the last 3 years with Cam Newton, Brian Hoyer, and McCourt. I am not worried about Bill Belichick. What I am worried about with Bill Belichick is he's such a good coach that the Patriots aren't going to play down to their level of talent that's actually on the roster, which may or may not be Bill's fault, but they're not going to play down to that level of talent because they're going to be good on special teams. They're going to be good on defense. They're going to squeeze out some wins. They're going to be well coached. They're going to do shit like that blocked field goal. They're going to do shit like that to keep themselves in games. And they're going to win more games than they should, get a lower draft pick than they should, and you're still going to be stuck with Mac Jones. The next group, I've got Panthers and Falcons. I've got them in the same tier. They're both NFC South teams. They both should probably be starting their backup quarterback. I know the Falcons should be starting their backup quarterback. I think why the Panthers are in the third tier of depression in this is mainly because of how well C.J. Stroud is playing. That's what would make me depressed. Is looking at the number 2 pick in the draft and going, fuck, we could have had him? He's one of 6 players in league history to average 300 yards in his first 4 games and not throw an interception. He's a fucking rookie, and we skipped him. We passed on him. That's what would have me depressed if I were a Panthers fan. If I were a Falcons fan, Desmond Ridder would just be enough by itself. In the second tier, we've got, and I told you we'd bring them up again, we've got the Bears. Duh, Bears. And the reason the Bears are here is because you had hope. You poor bastards. Look at me. You had hope, didn't you? 13 for 13 in the first half. Sure, it was against the Broncos, but it's 13 for 13. It's nothing to sneeze at. That's something to build on. You were you felt it. You felt happiness again. And then they just took it away from you. The Bears are on here twice because, well, I know some of their fans want Justin Fields to succeed, and I know some of their fans just want Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. But the number one, the most depressing loss of the week, Monday Night Football, Daniel Jones, prime time. What are we doing here, folks? What did we expect from the Giants this year? What did we really expect? They weren't that good last year. You know it. I spent all last season saying this feels like the 2011 49ers. New coach, reinvigorated quarterback, playoff run. But you know what the 49ers had back in 2011 with Harbaugh that the Giants didn't have? Talent. They had Staley and Frank Gore and Alex Smith, Michael Crabtree, and Navarro Bowman, and Justin Smith, and Alden Smith, and they had talent. The Giants do not have that. Last season was fun, but why you felt the need to spend $160 million to keep this band together, I have no clue. No clue. You could have, there's such a thing as you couldn't sell high because you didn't have the rights to trade him. But you could have just watched him leave and you could have given him the, hey, man, we're not on the same timeline. Your biological clock is ticking, Danny Dimes, and we're not ready for you. Go find someone who's going to make you rich and happy. But it's not going to be us because we don't have the fucking talent on this team to hide you when you have one of your games. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go pay Tyler Heineke like $8 to $10 million a year to risk his life behind our offensive line. We're going to take the compensatory pick that we got for you in next year's draft, we're going to put that towards getting more talent, and we're going to be young and fun for a while and well coached instead of having all these things like expectations. The worst thing the Giants did last year was make the playoffs. The worst thing. Now they're paying Daniel Jones. They hung on a Saquon and keeping the band together for what? They were playing 5 of their 6 first games against 2022 playoff teams. Do you think they're going to beat the Dolphins? Do you think they're going to beat the Bills? They've got the Jets coming up after that. They've got the Commies after that. Like, this is going to be bad. And so I think we might see the Giants here in the number 1 most depressing loss of the week. Again, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share, enjoy. From my wife's basement, I'm out.